Homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Cheng Kung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupton Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the correct Dharma radiance Tathagata of the past, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva of the present, and the Pu Guang Gong De San Wang Fo, the Universal Light Merit Mountain King Buddha of the future. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today, and the Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the Taipei rep to Sweden, Dharma Sister Judy, and Accountant to Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, producers for the Geni Tensang Sinton of the CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, and a member of the Sunny Line Dance Group, Dharma Sister Eliza Chen, and a member of the Voices from Heaven Choir Group, Dharma Sister Chiu Chi Jun. And from California, Dharma Brother Gao Ming Lu and his wife. Good evening, everybody. How do you do? Today we practice Kuan Yin Bodhisattva Dharma. And just now, I recited the past, present, and future forms of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva's past is Zheng Fa Ming Ru Lai, or Zheng Fa Ming Buddha, or the correct Dharma radiance Tathagata. And the present is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And the future is the Pu Guang Gong De San Wang Fo, which is in the Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, the Universal Light Merit Mountain King Buddha, which is the epithet of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva's future incarnation. Many people do not know who Pu Guang Gong De San Wang Fo is, and that's Kuan Yin Bodhisattva's future Buddhahood's epithet. So his past or her past was a Buddha, and then the present and the future, he or she will be a Buddha again. So we practice Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas today. And in the past, I typically wear white clothing because Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas is mainly a purification deity. That's why I was wearing white. But today, I especially wear red. We all know in Tantrayana there is a red Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin's emanations are the most innumerable. There are so many of them. And at my home in Taiwan, the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is the Aolong Kuan Yin over here on the right is Aolong Kuan Yin. And on the left is the Ru Yi, or wish-fulfilling Kuan Yin. So there are two Kuan Yins that are different from each other. And there are also 32 primary emanations of Kuan Yin. So there are myriad emanations of Kuan Yin. So there are many of them. So today I'm wearing red, and the primary reason is to remember the red Kuan Yin. In Tibet, there are also many emanations or appearances of Kuan Yin. And the four-armed Kuan Yin or Chenrezig is not necessarily wearing white. There are many different colors. And the Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas that we have here the one here is golden. This is rare. And the great monk Guoxian's is that deity over there, which is an antique from the great monk Guixian from the Huiqian Temple of Hong Kong. That was shipped here by sea. There are several deities here. So for the Seattle Temple, according to what I know, the one who donated the most for the Seattle Temple was the Venerable monk Guoxian. So he donated the most money. When we established the Seattle Temple, there were 8 families, and each family donated $20,000 to build the Seattle Temple. And the Venerable Guoxian. So if there were 8 families and 20,000 each, that would be 8 times 20,000. I forget about my math. In the past, I learned about calculus, and now I don't even remember the math terms. And I learned about equations. In high school, I learned that, and in college, I learned calculus and equations. And now, even for multiplication, I almost forget. And the Venerable monk Guoxian donated $90,000 US by himself. And the other households donated 20,000 each. But the Venerable Monk Guoqian donated 90,000 in building this temple here. So Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is very compassionate, and she's very diligent in her salvation of the sentient beings. And they are really uncountable emanations and appearances and manifestations. And they're also the Tianren Zangfu Guan Yin, which is the master of heaven and earth. Guan Yin. Anywhere there is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. There are 3 lifetimes. Of the past is the correct Dharma radiance, Tathagata, and the present is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And the future, in attaining Buddhahood, she would be the Pu Guang Gong de San Wang Fu. So that's my introduction of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva today. She's truly great Bodhisattva. In our Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, so Hiking Kuan Yin is also one Kuan Yin. And inside it there's a Taming Kuan Yin. Taming. Are you speaking Cantonese? The great wisdom Kuan Yin, the observant Kuan Yin, the noble Kuan Yin, the expansively minded Kuan Yin. So I can memorize them in Taiwanese because when I chant Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, I use Taiwanese. So Taming Kuan Yin, Guan Ming Kuan Yin, Gao Ming Kuan Yin, Kai Ming Kuan Yin. But if you ask me to use Mandarin, then I can't quite say it smoothly. I have to convert them. And sometimes you chant them in Cantonese, you can use any language. However, I learned it in Taiwanese. So in Taiwanese, it would be very smooth, but in Mandarin, I have to translate it in my mind before saying it. So there are so many Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas inside Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra alone. And there's a future Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and that would be Pu Guang Gong de San Wan Fu. And in Taiwanese, or in English, the Universal Light Merit Mountain King Buddha. So, in Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, they are Buddhas of the past, present, and future. From the greatest one of the past, which is Dipamkara, and of the present, Sakyamuni Buddha, and of the future, Maitreya Buddha. They're all in there. Of the past, present, and future, they're all in it. From the past, Dipamkara, of the present, Sakyamuni, and of the future, Maitreya. Remember Gawang Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and Gawang Kuan Yin Sutra. Remember, this includes all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions together giving you blessing. By reciting it once, you receive boundless blessings, and it can eradicate all the suffering of birth and death, and also harms and poisons. So you would be able to be freed from them in Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, and you would receive protection from all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. All beings in the central realm and those in the Pure Lands while moving upon the earth and through the heavens shower limitless compassion upon all beings, affording them equanimity and peace that they might cultivate day and night. By constantly invoke this sutra, one is liberated from the suffering of birth and death and free from all kinds of suffering. So you shouldn't have any doubts or hesitations about Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, because there's some that criticize that this sutra was not spoken by the Buddha. Of course not. However, all the Buddhas of the past, present, and future, and all Bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas are included in this Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. By reciting it once, it's the same. See, when we chant one Buddha, Namo Amitabha, so one Buddha is taking care of you. But when you recite all Buddhas of the past, present, and future, and all Bodhisattvas and Bodhisattvas, so all the Buddhas are taking care of you. And imagine how many of them. So the 10 billion Vajra treasury Buddhas, 10 billions, imagine, that's countless. And then the 500 flower-born Buddhas, 500 flower victory Buddhas. And the countless Buddhas, all of them are protecting you. And then the billions of clear, cool treasure mountain Bodhisattvas, billions of them, billions of Bodhisattvas protecting you. So Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra is an incredible sutra. It includes all the epithets for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva in all the Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. Why is she called the High King Kuan Yin? High meaning is the highest. The sutra is the highest. And it's the sutra of the kings. It's the sutra king. So the sutra of the highest king is Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. High King Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, who becomes the highest king. And there's another legend. A king by the family named Gao propagate this sutra. And it's also called the Great King Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So the king recommended the sutra. And because we talk about Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, so we talk about the Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. And Grandmaster every day recites the Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. So I'm not afraid of anything. There's nothing to be scared of. Because it can eliminate all the suffering of birth and death, and also eliminate all kinds of harms and poisons. So all Kuan Yin's Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions pledge to salvage sentient beings by reciting it 1,000 times. All calamities and disasters would be eliminated. So, and you don't decide it. And then there's the mantra in it, which is the mantra of the 7 past Buddhas. That's the mantra of the 7 Buddhas. That's the 7 past Buddhas, including Sakyamuni Buddha. There are the 7 great Buddhas. By reciting their names, you can eliminate all kinds of karma. So this sutra is really remarkable, and it's very responsive. By completing 1,000 recitation of the sutra and you ask for one thing, then your prayer would be fulfilled. Now we will continue on Lamdre. Let me share a joke first that you may have heard before. There are 2 ministers or fathers, and he was wearing the monk robes, you know, like fathers in Catholic Church, you know. So that wasn't good, wearing the clergyman's uniform. So they went to the beach in Hawaii wearing ordinary clothes, and they were enjoying the scenery. And there was a lady wearing bikini. And when she saw the 2 of them, they said, "Father, how do you do?" And they thought, "Oh no, people recognize them." So he went back home. And they wear the Hawaiian shirts and shorts and went back to the beach. And that a lady in bikini just now, seeing the 2 of them, said the same thing. "How are you, father?" So even when they are wearing Hawaiian shirt and shorts, still didn't work. So how did you recognize us? You forgot? I'm a nun from the monastery. So she, of course, recognized the fathers wearing bikini. So what Grandmaster is wearing today, that maybe you would think that Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is for purification. I should have worn white. But today I'm wearing red, but I'm still Grandmaster. Doesn't matter what color clothing I wear, I'm still Grandmaster. Now let me talk about this piece for the out of worldly path. The base empowerment is paired with the 7 factors of enlightenment, and the secret empowerment is paired with the 5 roots, which I have expounded. And now on the 3rd level, the wisdom empowerment is paired with the 5 powers. What are they? That's the 37 body divisions. Or the 37 enlightenment qualities. And the 7 factors of enlightenment
这里写的是四正段，也就是四正勤，加起来刚好是37。
So the 4 establishments of mindfulness, 4 right exertions, 4 pieces of powers, 4 faculties, 4 powers, 7 factors of enlightenment, and 8 noble paths, altogether 37. So the 4 establishment of mindfulness, 4 right diligences, 4 bases of power, 5 faculties, 5 powers, 7 factors of enlightenment, and 8 noble paths, altogether 37, right?
33啊
33?
真的啊
12.
34啊
37.
我再念一遍哦。
Let me recite it one more time.
37菩提分
37 body divisions. The 4 transcendent travels, the 4 mindfulness, the 4 bases of power, 5 faculties, 5 powers, 7 factors of enlightenment, and 8 noble paths. That's 37. I missed one earlier. The 4 mindfulness.
数学一个讲33的，你错，一个讲34的才是对。
Someone said 33 that was wrong and 34 was right.
哦，33是正确的。
No, 33 was right, 34 was wrong.
啊，对不起，对不起。
Sorry.
我数学不是很好。
My math's not that good.
以前常常在学校里面说，哎，学了几何，又如何？
So when I was in school, so what after learning it? And so what is it if I don't learn it? So who knows? Please stand up.
你不是会念吗？哎，不写几何，奈我何？再来呢？啊，没有啦。学了几何又如何？啊，你呢？人生在世有几何，何必苦苦学几何？学了几何能几何？不学几何又几何？哦，正确正确，你看，你看你。哎，人家德辉上师当住持也是有原因的。
So there's a reason why Master Dehui became an abbot, the abbot, so he could recite it. And for us, we just remember a little bit, but he remembered all of it. That's why he's the abbot. So here it talked about the wisdom empowerment is paired with the 5 powers. And this belongs to the 3rd level empowerment. I often talk about the 3rd level empowerment. Sometimes you misunderstand. The so-called wisdom empowerment after you have fruitions or attainments in your inner Tantra practice, you would receive wisdom empowerment. So the wisdom empowerment is not entirely the consort Dharma practice or for the dual body Dharma practice. Most people think that the wisdom empowerment is the highest Tantra yoga, but actually it includes many more than the dual body practice. There are other empowerments. There are others in this respect. There's empowerment for the dual body practice, but also for the single body practice. Like Guru Tsongkhapa practiced in a single body, the patriarch of Gelugpa. He did not perform the dual body consort practice. He practiced in a single body. And there were many siddhas who practiced in a single body. And the dual body practice is to help others to have attainments and also the rather swift ways to Buddhahood. It's a method to help others to attain siddhi, and also a rather quick method to attain Buddhahood. But single body practice can also work. So the highest Yoga Tantra is a very high level practice and is paired with 5 kinds of powers. It's the powers of the faith. So the powers of your strong faith, that's one of the 5 powers. So faith is the mother of all merits. So that's why the power of the faith is very important. And second is the power of diligence. Diligence in your Dharma practice is extremely important. And the third is the power of the mind. The power of your intention. And then the power of your meditation can be generated. Some people cannot enter into meditation. Don't think that meditation is easy. Meditation is very difficult. And the power of wisdom. So you perform based on these 5 kinds of powers. So what is the power of faith? Think about it. So, like in the ancient time, because they have faith, they need to have faith in order to have siddhi or attainment. Like say for the arhats, because they have the faith that in their meals, in India, Bhutan, Nepal, Sikkim, India, they are like alms begging. It's not like the normal beggars, but they ask for alms by spiritual cultivators. So they eat whatever is given to them. And only those with strong faith would be able to do that. If you don't have faith in the 4 sagely realms in arhatship, then it would be impossible for you to go alms begging, because you have control your desire for food. Like Grandmaster at the Seattle Lechang Temple would have lunch and dinner. Has Grandmaster ever said that, I want to eat this? Today I want to eat this. Please buy this for me. It never happened. That I asked for a certain food today. And then the dining room would especially bought that. For so many years, I never asked for anything specific. Why? Because I eat whatever given to me, whatever the temple serves. Because if you ask for a specific thing, then you have the thought of greed or desire, right? Although it is not alms begging, but you would rise to a certain desire. And Grandmaster's clothing are also very simple. So on the Dharma thrones or not, I wear the same kinds of clothing. And this is a dragon robe, and sometimes there are dragons on it. This one, there are dragons, but sometimes they don't. I just wear whatever. They are not necessarily designers' brand names. There are many designers' clothing that many lay Buddhists would wear. And of course, at the outlet are cheaper because they are outlet. But if you go to the designer stores in the mall, that would be very expensive. But Grandmaster wear about the same kind of outfit. That's for my clothing, the faith. But Grandmaster's is a brand name nobody else would have. You know, when you wear the Lama outfit, it's still very eye-catching because it's like a brand name. Nobody else would wear that, huh? So you wear the first brand name because everybody would notice wearing this Lama outfit. And there are many Caucasians that would say, "Oh, you look your outfit is just really nice. Where did you buy them?" So food, clothing, and then your living place or your residence. It's also very simple. My dwelling. In the past, I have lived in the illegal house. So that the toilet and the bathroom is not in the house. We have to use public bathrooms. And we only have one faucet on the wall. There's no bathroom, no shower, nothing. And there's a rather big basin. And then you close the door and you can shower there. So right at the front door, that's your bathroom. And we have no living room, just one room. I have lived in such a house. And there is no cement, it's just like dirt with a board on it. And it is built on top of a ditch, a very filthy ditch. And that's the place where I lived before. And yet I felt very at peace. When it rains really hard, it was like pity patter. And it was raining hard outside, it was raining a little bit inside. And still I slept really well. So with the food, clothing, my dwellings, and also transport. Of course, I have cars to drive. The translator Hanifa is also a VIP. She's a true VIP. Nobody registered her to be a VIP. But she's a true VIP. She never charged for her translation. She interpreted my Chinese to become English, and she's Dharma Sister Hanifa. She's actually also a VIP. Of course, I have money to buy cars, but every time she offered cars to me, she likes to offer cars to me. In Taiwan, I don't have cars. However, in Taiwan, she's also one of my drivers, driving me. And my cars in United States were offered by her. And there's another one who offered cars to me. That was Master Lien Xin. And Master Lien Xin was like this. And I told him about this investment and that investment, and he made a lot of money. So he offered a car to me. And that was the first time I drove a Rolls Royce. And there should be a driver for Rolls Royce, but I was the driver. In America, I am the driver. So for food, clothing, my houses and cars, actually it's very simple. For our hearts, the true spiritual cultivation is with strong faith would be our hearts. So their food is through the alms begging, and their clothing is the beggar's clothes, which is the clothing for the people at the lowest level. So it's like rags, made of rags, and they saw a piece of cloth from here and a piece of cloth from there. So they used the cloth that were used to wrap around the corpse, and they wear such clothing made from corpses' rag. So for their food, for their clothing, and for their dwellings, it's even worse than that illegally built building, and they sleep under the trees or in between two tombs. For our heart's spiritual cultivation, some with strong faith, they would sleep between tombs, and their transportation is walking. So it's so simple for their daily necessities. Because they have such strong faith, that's why they could do it. And for the long-term commitment in their diligent spiritual cultivation, so the power of diligence would connect all other powers. So spiritual cultivators of today's world is rather blessed, not for the past. Because they always say that we are the humble one, the poor one, because they have no money. In Chinese, it's called 贫道. So that's only by having the power of faith you can do that. Otherwise, you would start arising to the thoughts of desire. And how to stop the desire is by the power of your mind. Only when you can stop that thoughts, then you can generate meditation or meditative power. If you're still mindful or thinking about all the worldly things and about desires, then it's impossible for you to enter into meditation or to generate meditative power. The only way is you have to have the power of the mind to stop the thoughts in order to generate the power of meditation. And when you have the power of meditation, only then you would have the power of wisdom. So the power of faith, the power of diligence, the power of mind, the power of meditation, and the power of wisdom. And the first one is the power of faith. In class, the teacher said, Xiaoming, please answer this. What is the meaning of that the drunkenness is not in the wine? And Xiaoming was stooping on the desk sleeping. So the teacher called on him. So can you answer what this means? And he was sleeping when he heard that. All of a sudden he understood. He was very smart. He stood up and he went to the door of the classroom. And then he said, Teacher, it seemed that you are asking me to answer the question, but actually you're asking me to get out. So the teacher replied, you're absolutely right, get out. So Xiaoming was incredible. The teacher asked him, so what is the meaning of drunkenness is not in the wine? All of a sudden, he woke up, stood up, and he said that the teacher was not asking for him to answer. Actually, he was asking him to get out of the class. So this is the power of the wisdom. He knew about the past, present, and future. That Xiaoming could do that. Xiaoming asked Dad, Dad, the teacher told me today, like father, like son. What does this mean? And his dad said, so you must have done something really bad to ask this question. So the dad has wisdom too, like father, like son. So he must have done something bad to ask this question. So he has wisdom. So like father, like son. So first you have the power of faith in order to be diligent in your spiritual cultivation. And from your diligence, you can stop your thoughts. You can stop the thoughts in your brain. That you only have the correct thoughts in order to enter into meditation. And in meditation, you would be able to generate wisdom. You need to rely on these 5 powers. So for the third level empowerment, you have to rely on these 5 powers.
老师问，也是小明的笑话。
The teacher asked, also joke about Xiaoming.
午休的时候可以不要讲话吗？
Huang Xiaoming, can you stop talking during lunch break?
这个我恐怕做不到。
And Xiaoming said, well, it's impossible
老
for
师就
me.
问，你
And
就
the
不能
teacher
控制
asked,
自己吗？
can't you control
小
yourself?
明讲，
And Xiaoming
你
said,
在说梦话的时候能够控制吗？
can you
老师
control
就讲说，
your talks in the dream? And then the teacher said, get out of here.
我告诉你，
Let me tell you.
日有所思啊，夜有所梦。
So you would dream of what you're thinking in the daytime,
你修密教
except
修
when it is the correct dreams. For tantric practitioners, you also have the
颠倒
correct dreams. But for most people,
这个
it's like the topsy-turvy kinds
当
of
然是颠倒的，所以小明他没有
dreams,
办法控制他的梦，表示他
like the
还有
confused
他的念
dreams.
头，念头产生出来。
So Xiaoming couldn't control his dream because he still have thoughts.
也有一
So
个这样子
he
的笑话，一个先生
keeps
对
talking.
老婆，一个老婆对
There's
先
this
生讲
joke.
拜
The
托你晚
wife
上不要讲梦话好不好？
said to the husband, please don't talk in your dream at
那
night,
先生
okay?
说我办不
And
到。
the husband said, well,
太太说问说为什么呢？
I can't do that.
我白天
And
都
the
不能
wife
讲，
said,
只好
and
在
then the
晚上
husband
讲。
said, well, because I can't say it in the daytime, so I have to say it at
白
night.
天为什么不能讲？
I can
白
only
天
say
都是
it
太
at
太在
night.
讲，
Why
晚上只有听呢。
why couldn't he say it in the
晚上我
daytime?
连
Because
讲话
only
的
the
自由
wife
都没有，
talks
说
while
梦话的自由
waking.
都没有，
So even at night, he has no freedom to
什么话
talk.
都不要讲，这怕老婆到极点。
And if he is extremely afraid of his wife, he cannot say
还是
anything.
有念头。才
So
会讲
if
梦话
you talk in your dreams, that means you
原来
still have
有一句话
thoughts.
圣人无梦，
There is the statement that for the sage, there are no dreams. So if you're a sage, then you have no dreams.
你没有什么念头，有很多
You
人
have no
晚上躺
thoughts.
下他就睡了，
There are
眼
many
睛一张
people who would fall asleep right away as soon as they lay
一个
down.
梦都没有。
And when they open their eyes, it's dawn, and there's no
有些人一
dreams
躺下
whatsoever.
哇，
Very
这个
fast.
念头一大堆，
And there's some
那白天
people
的
would
念
have
头一大
so
堆，
many
晚上的
thoughts
念头
running as soon as they lay
一
down.
大堆，所以呢，
So if you have lots of thoughts in the daytime, of course you will have lots of thoughts at
把
night.
所有的欲望全部消除掉的时
But
候，
through the power of diligence,
你
you
就
can stop
念头就
all
会止住，
kinds of desire. Then you would stop your
因为你没
thoughts
有欲望了嘛。
because you have no desire
像师尊
anymore.
来讲，师尊是
Like Grandmaster,
对未来
like
完全没有什么希望的人。
Grandmaster have no expectations for the future.
很多人问师尊啊，你将来希望怎么样啊？你
There are
的
many
生活
people
中
that
未来要
ask,
怎么样啊？
what is your expectations for the future? What is your hopes for the future for True Buddha School?
佛纪念馆啊
What do you want to
办什么学校啊
establish in the future, like a memorial for the Buddha,
众生啊
or schools, establish
就是我希望
schools
别人来
for
做，我自己
people in the future.
做的。
I wish other people would do, but not for myself.
我只会
Establishing
大概如果办的话，我会
schools.
跟着人家办什么学校？
If I do, then I probably would follow someone which is establishing schools for the
你也
spirit
不知道
world,
啊，对不对？你们也看不
because
到啊
nobody would know whether it's there or not. You can't see it,
反正我也不用做什么，
and there's nothing that we have to do.
想一下就出来，
Schools for the spirit world, which is one thought.
好漂亮，好大，
It's there. It's beautiful and big.
金碧辉煌，
Wow,
墙壁都是黄金贴，
it's fabulous.
地上
And
都是
golden walls, and
哇，还有莲花池，
corals on the floor, and lotus ponds for the kids to swim.
光用想的啊，
And just by thinking, it's
阴间学校偶尔会办的，偶尔会办，只
Of
是你们看不
course.
到而已。
of course I can copy that person and do that too. It's something, but you cannot see it.
甘拜下风。
Oh,
我不是说
I really
差点夸狂。
I can't stand that people even thought of that.
对，我在天上办个学校吧，这个也可以，但是你晚上会睡不着，
So
因为你有妄想啊，妄想症啊。
but if you think of this, then you can't sleep at night,
办学校
because you would have this
办个学校
running
妄想
thoughts,
症啊，
you know,
就睡觉
thinking
怎么
of
不安稳，只念就是叫你什么都
building
不想
a school in the spirit world.
直啊，
How can you be at peace and at
指密教
ease?
的功夫啊，叫彻切。
You know, you would still have thoughts running, you know, but the power of Tantrayana is chiche, is stopping all the thoughts, that you should have no hopes or wishes whatsoever. Only then you would be able to enter into meditation.
课堂上，小明举手问老师
In classroom, Xiaoming raised his hand and asked the teacher,
能中500万，你信吗？
when I buy lottery ticket, I would win $5 million. Do you believe it?
买彩券能中500万，你相信吗？
Do you believe it? He asked the teacher.
结果老师哈哈大笑，
And the teacher laughed.
做你的美梦
Silly
戏吧。
fool. Can
小明
keep
就
on dreaming.
课本，谢谢老师，他就趴着做他的美梦。
And then Xiaoming closed the textbook and sleep
是一连贯的。
and slept
你看那
and
个小明
dream. So
他跟老
that's
师
all
讲，我当下
connected
就中
together.
500万的彩券。
So Xiaoming was very smart because he said to the
但
teacher,
是
in a moment I will win $5 million lottery.
对不对？
And the teacher thought it's impossible.
我告诉大家一个信息：
But let me tell you a news.
台湾的时候，今
When
年
I left Taiwan this year,
我看到这个整个雷藏寺面前，
I saw in front of the Lizang
虚空
temple
中的黄金掉下来，掉的
there were
钞票
there
掉
were
下来，掉
gold
的满满。
from the
我当时就
falling from heavens,
会有
and
人
it was really the temple was
威
filled
力
with
彩
gold.
第一名，
And I
第一名
said,
的威力彩
someone will
一定会有
hit
人
the
中威力
jackpot,
彩
will win the
今天来
first
参加法
prize
会一定会有
lottery
人中威力彩。
of the participants there.
结
There
果
would be
消息
someone
传来，我
that
在
won the first prize.
5月15号吧，
I
5月几号离开
was
台湾的？
leaving Taiwan on May,
5月
was
11
it
511
11th?
511离开台湾，
May 11th.
6月
I left Taiwan, and in June, someone did
大威
win
力彩
the
在台湾没
first
上
the first prize of the How lottery in
然后
Taiwan.
那个人不敢讲出他的名字，这个汇了300万，汇
And
了
that
300万
person didn't want to say his name, but he wired
是
$3 million NT dollars to Taiwan Lizang Temple.
台湾雷藏寺的住持莲泽上师讲，汇了暗中汇了300万给台湾雷藏寺，
So the abbot of the Taiwan Lizang Temple, Master Lianzi, said
透过另外一个人汇的，
that he wired
不敢说。
$3 million to Taiwan Lizang Temple through somebody else, through the bank. He didn't want to. He wanted to remain anonymous,
追着他跑，
because if you're not anonymous,
他这
then many masters would run after him.
没有办法，
And these kinds of
因为一
masteries
定要放空
are not possible to enter into meditation, because only when you empty yourself you can enter into
最
meditation.
重要的就是没有念头，
The most important thing in entering into meditation is when you have no
入不了定
thoughts
的。
in order to enter into meditation. If you have thoughts, it's impossible for you to meditate. if you run after money, it would be impossible for you to enter into meditation, and not even in your dreams. Every time when I take a nap, Simu would call me, or the Buddhas or Bodhisattvas would wake me up. And when I open my eyes, it would be just the right time. I would tell Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, let me nap for half an hour. Or at night, I would say I have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning. And as soon as I lay down, when I open my eyes, it would be exactly 7:30. Exactly. And sometimes I feel uncomfortable always asking Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, so I ask Simu to wake me up at a certain time, and then she would wake me up. As soon as I open my eyes, is it breakfast? No, because you had lunch already. I would be unaware what time when I woke up, when she woke me. What time is it? Then that would be a real sleep, because you've forgotten about it. What time is it? Or maybe it's an amnesia or poor memory. The teacher said, so the students that I call on would win $200 scholarship. And as soon as the teacher finished, Xiaoming threw the textbook to the teacher, and the teacher was angry and called his name, Wang Xiaoming. And then Xiaoming stood up and said, okay, now I get $200. And then the teacher said, get out of here. So he's very smart, Xiaoming. He was very smart. This joke's about Xiaoming. He knew what he should say at what time. And this is all stringed together. A person has to have this kind of wisdom. Someone with this kind of wisdom would be incredible. Like Xiaoming. When I was born in elementary school, high school, I wasn't as incredible as Xiaoming. Where did Xiaoming come from? He must have learned Buddha Dharma. He was smart. So the 5 powers, the power of faith, the power of diligence, the power of the mind, the power of meditation, and the power of wisdom that's being generated. And these 5 kinds of powers are paired with the empowerment for the highest Yoga Tantra. Om Mani Padme Hum.